Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Virgo energy. And we're going to do this 10 card spread, and we're going to kind of read it from a couple different perspectives because we're kind of at different emotional maturity levels and lessons that we've learned in our life. And depending on, if people keep listening to their intuition and truth and love, and are willing to get out of their ego or their defensive nature or their immature nature or prideful nature or whatever their ego nature could represent, um, they're going to handle this energy differently. And some people who aren't maybe motivated and inspired by love, they're kind of more just being about themselves and it being more about them or more about things they like to indulge in or ego or image as things that are more important to them. They'll make their life more about those things. So we all tap into Virgo energy. This might be something particularly that Virgo energy at large is dealing with, so it might affect more people who are Virgo sun sign or have significant Virgo placements, but we all tap into Virgo energy, and we either harness it in a more high vibe way, a more shadowy way, or maybe just a little more in between. So I view this as the overarching reason for the reading, which is a world card. We're either more about the world, or the world card talks about learning lessons in life. And when we learn lessons in life, we kind of detach from an old way of living life and viewing life or feeling about ourselves. We heal, we grow, we mature or something. And High Vibe Virgo is about continuing to learn lessons. We go on these journeys in life, we meet these different people. It helps us get more clear about what our truth is and what our truth isn't. And High Vibe people are willing to get out of their ego to realize I didn't know everything. And I have lessons to learn, and it helped me get more clear about my truth, and in truth and love, they keep moving forward in their life, taking the lessons that they've learned and seeing what needs to go, actions or ways of thinking or feeling within themselves and people, and they move forward in truth and love. And for some people, that's why some relationships ended. Because up here we start with the Four of Cups, taking that cup of love. Will you take that cup of love so that these other things don't manipulate you emotionally? To have some hope and faith and belief in yourself and in others and love. And in the Five of Cups, continuing to offer yourself a cup of love to work through those relationships in your past that didn't work out the way you wanted, and seeing where you needed to heal and grow and mature yourself. The fives talk about change. The only person you can change is you. So if things didn't work out the way I wanted, I am willing to take that cup of love to deal with those regrets of the past. And High Vibe Virgo is about seeing the truth of it. Where did I need to heal and grow and mature myself? Where did they maybe need to heal and grow and mature themselves? Are we both willing to learn lessons in life? In the Three of Pentacles, have we freed ourselves from things that used to manipulate us? Kind of on the same page? Because the Three of Pentacles is Capricorn energy, and shadowy Capricorn energy is the devil. I can only work with other people who've learned to free themselves from some of the same things that used to manipulate me. If I was more codependent, but I'm not more codependent, I need to be in relationships with people who are less codependent. If I have worked through some of my regrets of the past, but they haven't, well, then we're kind of not on the same page. Those things still more manipulate them than they could manipulate me. So High Vibe Capricorn is I've kind of freed myself from some of the things that used to manipulate me. And the Three of Pentacles can also be that, the foundation we operate from. We either operate from a foundation where we are kind of motivated and inspired by love and to work cooperatively with people and keep healing and growing and maturing ourselves to work cooperatively with people in truth and love. And some people are like, I might just be more about me or the world. My long-term goal could be, Capricorn energy can be about what we view as victorious and successful. And shadowy, more Virgo energy can be my long-term goal is to have a certain status and image, make it more about me, find other people to be in a relationship with me who are more motivated and inspired by those things. People have free will. They don't have to do love. The Five of Cups is Scorpio energy, which in high vibe is deep, meaningful relationships. And some people are like, I just want to be in a relationship. So long as it looks good and we get along well enough. Shadowy Scorpio is I kind of like to keep maybe my emotions buried beneath the surface, and I might not be a very deep connected in with my emotional nature that much. I rejected that cup of love. I haven't worked through the issues that manipulate me to make me choose to kind of not want to do more deep, meaningful relationships because, Scorpio energy is that we are these emotionally complex human beings. And some people are like, yeah, it's confusing and I don't really want to deal with it. So, does that mean I miss out on opportunities with people? Yeah, because I'm just not willing to do that. Shadowy Cancer Scorpio can be that I kind of like to use my emotions more manipulatively in a relationship, like, just surface level. And I'm okay with that. And I'll look for other people who are okay with that because I really don't want to do the work it takes to free myself from why I don't do that. And as long as they're not interested, and over here we have the Three of Wands, which can be about what inspires us. Everybody has their idea. The Three of Wands can be I have this idea and I'm taking action to bring this dream into reality. And for some people, it's not to do love. I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love. I gave that up and I chose in my free will to be more motivated and inspired to make my life more about not doing that and, being in friendships, being in relationships, but maybe more about being more self protective or self defensive and more about the status and the ego and the image and being in relationship with other people who are like that. So that's kind of the end of the story. So what's going on in Virgo energy right now? We have the Four of Wands and the Eight of Wands and the Seven of Cups. So, you know, we're all in the process right now with whoever in our life, friends, family, work people, whatever. In the Four of Wands, there are some people in our life that we're working with, right? In the world. Some of them we're hoping our dreams will come into reality with those people. And in the Eight of Wands, it can talk about that we're moving forward because we're at a certain stage of life. We're living life, viewing life a certain way, working with certain people, and we could all, um, the people in our life that we're working together with, that we enjoy their company and they enjoy our company, or we're working together for a common goal, we're all moving forward in that. In the Seven of Cups, though, which is Scorpio energy again, sometimes some people have an illusion about what it means to work together with other people. Can they want to move forward in it? But they might have these illusions. And again, they could be more caught up in the Chariot. Can talk about, yeah, I want to have a new beginning. Yeah, I want to move forward, because the Chariot can talk about moving forward in something that looks victorious and successful. And a lot of people in friendships, relationships, and workplaces, some people, that's why they're in it. This would be victorious and successful. I would look like I've moved forward in the world. I would maybe look, Capricorn can be also about things looking victorious and successful. I want to look victorious and successful. The problem is some of the other people really are more emotionally balanced and really motivated and inspired by truth and love. And eventually we can have a problem in a relationship because then we have the Nine of Cups and the Eight of, oh no, I guess this is the Eight of Cups. Some people, the Nine of Cups, you're either more independent of being kind of more motivated and inspired by caught up in the illusion, or the illusion of yourself, or the illusion of the world, and the ego and the image driving you, or you're still really kind of caught up in that and just kind of indulging in it for those reasons. But some of the other people have become independent of being more caught up in the illusion of themselves, or more about these things of the world, and they actually find it emotionally fulfilling. So you can maybe have already connected those dots together, like say you're in a workplace and some people really do enjoy their job and take pride in their job and are inspired to put in work and effort. Um, and other people kind of like to go along for the ride, right? And maybe be a little bit more indulged in the relation in the workplace or something. So, and we can all move forward in something. The 7 of Cups can be like having a new beginning because the 6 of Cups can talk about maybe that we were friends or we were getting to know each other. But then the 7 of Cups can be that we offered a cup of love to it to move the relationship forward. And, we might become independent and kind of distance ourselves emotionally from some other things or people in our life while we move forward with that new relationship. And again, we can all be happy. But eventually, during the course of a relationship, we can get in them, we can enjoy them. But there comes a point in time where are we really willing to move forward and like take it to the next level where it really is a more emotionally disconnecting from the past, from old ways of doing things, or being more just enjoying it or indulging in it. It really is kind of making that commitment in a way to move forward. Because some people, in the 4 of Cups, I don't want to feel like I'm being emotionally manipulated. I don't want to maybe be in a more superficial, shallow relationship. I want to be in a more deep, meaningful relationship. So the 8 of Wands and Sagittarius can be, like getting to know people, but it can also be caught up in the excitement and the fun. And it can be, again, getting to know people. But eventually, as time goes by, from the 8 of Cups down to the 5 of Cups, we want to let go of it being more about that 3 of Cups foundation and really be a high vibe 3 of Cups foundation where, we're at that stage where it's more about offering that cup of love to not make it where it's still just kind of getting to know each other and um, enjoying it and indulging it, where we kind of, are going to detach from that foundation, things from the past, and really kind of move forward and work together in this relationship. And this is where we think our dreams can come into reality. Well, we can have some people are going to move forward with us in that way in our friendships, our relationships, and workplaces, right? But some other people might be kind of like, well, I was good doing this. And some of them might be like, well, I don't really want to do a deep, meaningful relationship. I don't want to free myself from some of the things that manipulate me, but can I come with you anyway? Kind of like you won't require me to be more, detaching from my more worldly view of life or being more about myself, because the 3 of Wands is Aries energy, which is about the self, and it also can talk about what we're kind of more motivated and inspired by. I want to come with, but because it works and it's good, you know, it's beneficial for me, but I really don't want to. I want to keep being basically who I am at the same way of viewing life and what motivates and inspires me and why I'm doing it. But I don't really want to take that cup of love to work through whatever it is that makes me want to, they could just be more immature. They could, again, have illusions about what it means to work together with people, a little bit more about how it benefits them, not really working together cooperatively to, it's just a little more of their own self interest. And sometimes some other people, for a while, you can keep staying in friendships and relationships or having people that you're working with in a job But eventually, the high vibe people kind of feel like, if it's romantic, I feel like I'm missing an opportunity in love, that this really isn't a more deep, meaningful relationship. Can we enjoy each other's company? Can we enjoy the relationship? But how long am I going to keep moving forward in something where I don't feel like it's ever going to kind of go to that next level? And for the people who never want to go to that next level anyway, and they're both those kind of people or all those kind of people, well, they'll keep moving forward in that way because that is the free will choice. You know, we might not be, we all might kind of indulge ourselves in our more immature nature or being more about ourselves. We all might want to kind of keep moving forward in it, but they got some lessons to learn. And but so long as they're all on the same page, they're all on the same page. I'm not ready for, I haven't learned to love myself, you haven't learned to love yourself, so therefore we can act, instead of being more inspired to work together more cooperatively in a more just, fair, authentic, respecting each other. We kind of have these problems where, one day we are motivated and inspired, the next day we're not working together cooperatively, turning our back on the people who want to work cooperatively with, ignoring their love, not offering them love, being more about indulging ourselves, maybe in our ego. And then the next day we want to move forward and we're offering, and it's all this kind of back and forth because, in our free will, we can choose to temper our more immature egoic nature and work together with people and keep choosing to offer truth and love to the situation. And other people definitely can be more, we know they're more stubborn, they're more prideful, they're more bossy, they're more controlling, they're more immature. We know that. And then there's the people that kind of go back and forth. It's kind of like, well, I like to view myself as a high vibe person. And some days I kind of do a good job at that, but I still really haven't detached from kind of these illusions that I have, that I can kind of, it's like being two-faced. Like I can be this way some days, but then other days I'm kind of more about me and I want it to be more about me, and I don't offer love to it and I don't work cooperatively. So they keep kind of going back and forth. And there could be some people right now who can't decide what their truth is. I kind of like this, and we all, just like we have our dualistic nature, there's these different people in the world and probably in our life. I could move forward with the people who are being more just, fair, authentic, loving, and work together with me cooperatively, are encouraging, are more independent, but then they in turn want me to be that type of person. And that takes work and effort to keep maintaining balance within myself and not, and I'd have to kind of, those people want me to detach from being kind of more about myself or more self-indulgent. And I don't know, or being more caught up in these things of the world. And I don't know if I want to do that. And then we have other people in our life who are like, you shouldn't do that. And you should be more motivated and inspired by these things. And I'll be in a friendship or relationship with you. And I won't require that of you. But then those people could be more about being in the relationship to be in the relationship, indulge in the relationship to indulge in the relationship. It works for them, it's good for the ego or the image or the status. They have someone to move forward with in friendship or relationship, or works at that job. But then those people maybe aren't very loving, are a little more superficial and shallow. Do they want to be in it? Could they work together with you, to try to make it work? But it's like, ultimately, at the end of the day, do we want to be in relationships with people who are more motivated and inspired by love, or not willing to have to really free yourself from things that manipulate you, but it's maybe more, oh, maybe just a little bit more of an immature relationship? And at the heart of the reading is the Eight of Cups. We do have free will. And, I go this way or I go that way, or I pick this or I pick that, and Some people have a hard time being more independent. They could have a friends or family group in their life that they want to be in relationships with people that they can move forward with and create their own relationship with, but their primary loyalty is to their friendship group or their original family group. And if they try to move forward in other relationships, like a romantic relationship, those people would probably want them to quit being more emotionally manipulated or making that friend group or original family group the primary foundation in their life. If this is the relationship that you want, your romantic relationship to dreams to come into reality with, you need to become more independent from letting those people kind of be a third party in our relationship. If this is, and some people really have a hard time doing that regardless of how old they are. Well, I don't know if those people told me, that maybe at some future point in time, and some of them have already done that, well, I don't know if I like these people. I don't think maybe you should move forward with them. And maybe if you keep moving forward with them, then I'm not sure, we don't really seem like we're on the same page anymore, or you're not making me a priority in your life. Well, that's when some of those people will quit moving forward with the people they're in a relationship with, because those people have that much influence over them, because they're kind of codependent on them, not willing to be more independent of them. And that is the primary foundation. For some people, it's not other people, it's being more about themselves. Well, if I were to move forward with you, then it can't be more about me. And eventually, people don't tell people, oh, by the way, I am a little bit more just about myself. And I like it to be more about me. And they move forward in relationships, and it kind of gets to that place in the relationship where people can kind of indulge people in a relationship, getting to know them. But, if we're going to move forward, the Chariot is Cancer energy about love. Love is to be just and fair. You are supposed to free yourself from being more about yourself to move forward in an emotionally balanced relationship in love. And love is to be just and fair. It's no longer more about you. And some people could be at that point in a relationship where they don't know if they want to keep moving forward in it or not, because they kind of do like it to be more about them. Or the people who are more about the world and the ego and the image and the status, if they move forward with people who are more motivated by love, they want them to be more motivated by love. And it's like, damn, I like the relationship and I like to be in it, but I really don't want to really do love. Again, I have to quit indulging myself and being more about myself. And I'd really have to be more inspired by love. And some of those people will decide, you can go. And the people that are in a situation like that, all of them can be hurt. All of them can be kind of confused. But the high vibe people keep loving and believing in themselves that, you know, my dreams coming into reality aren't dependent on you. And sometimes it does kind of get to be a battle of wills, because the more worldly people or being more about themselves people, they have a lot of things that manipulate them, and more codependent, not more independent. High vibe energy in general is about being more independent of your shadow nature, your ego nature, and your codependent nature. They have a lot of things that manipulate them. So, of course, they think, oh, well, I'm not willing to do that. I'm going to stop moving forward with you. And shadowy energy can be about trying to manipulate someone. I could know that you love me. I can know that you wanted this dream to come into reality. I think you'll probably go forward for a while, but then you'll be sad. And I think you'll come back and want to work with me. and do it my way. But some people have already been in relationships with those people long enough that I already was in a relationship with you long enough trying to move it forward. I already know that when I'm in a relationship with you, I feel like I'm missing an opportunity in love. And I do feel like I'm emotionally being manipulated. And that you use the love that you know I have for you, or wanting this dream to come into reality, or this relationship that we've moved forward with, if that's a family or whatever, that of course I would like it to stay together. But I certainly don't like being in relationships with people who want me to indulge them in a more superficial, shallow relationship, or it has to always be more about you, or you're more stubborn and prideful, or more ego based, more image based, more materialistically based than love based. And some of the high vibe people are like, no, I'm going to keep offering and being inspired to free myself. Because when you do really authentically emotionally invest in people, we are these emotionally complex human beings. We can have these contradictory thoughts and feelings. I hate them. I love them. I don't ever want to see them. I hope they call me tomorrow. And we have to keep being inspired to, I don't want to repeat that old pattern, and that way of moving forward in life. I don't want to repeat that. So I'm going to keep being inspired to offer myself in high vibe Virgo truth and love, to keep loving and believing in myself, work through that emotional confusion, work through the illusion, see the truth. I probably offered truth and love for people to work together with me and move forward with me in truth and love. And those people are like, I think I'll indulge myself, maybe in my pride and ego. I don't think you will love and believe in yourself. And some high vibe people are like, no, I've freed myself and I believe in my dreams. And I see that your dream is different than my dream. Your dream is to maybe be more about yourself. And if you're in a relationship and it's not just more about you, ultimately, then you don't want to be in the relationship. And some of those people could have gotten in another relationship, and the next people they're in a relationship with that are motivated and inspired by love. And they're like, oh shit, we got to that point. You want things to move forward for me to kind of make that commitment. And some of those people are like, uh, I think, I think I'll just kind of try to stay confusing. And, because the Seven of Cups in Scorpio, I'm going to try to confuse people about the truth. Like, oh yeah, I do want to move forward with you. Oh yeah, I really love you and this is so great and I love my job, or whatever it is. And they create this illusion, kind of two cards that can talk about illusion, but I'm not really going to change. But let's just keep moving forward the way we've been moving forward in the world. And I guess, you know, if you don't love and believe in yourself enough to kind of stand up for what you believe in, I guess we'll just keep moving forward like this. And you'll be kind of sad that it's not a more deep, meaningful relationship. But if you want to keep working together with me, then I guess we'll keep working together. This works for me. This is my idea of the dream life. And so long as you're kind of willing to put an end, the world can talk about ending a cycle. If you're willing to put an end to your dreams and stay in it for whatever reasons you have, well, then I guess we'll keep moving forward like this. Works for me. And we can all indulge people in poor behavior for a while in relationships. Loving people put a lot of work and effort to try to make a relationship move forward victorious and successfully. Three of Pentacles, they put a lot of work and effort trying to get it to move forward. They want that dream to come into reality, want that victory and success. And there's some people that are doing that right now. And they could keep being kind of disappointed and keep feeling, it's kind of like when we're ready to deal with the truth, we're ready to deal with the truth. And that's when it's like, I'm done. And that can be like Judgment Day, where one more time people communicate with the people in their life that this is how I want to move forward. And maybe telling people that, I feel like this isn't moving forward the way I want. I don't want to keep just it going on the way it is. I want it to move forward. I want it to be move forward in this victorious, successfully, equally balanced from love for the people who want love, for the other people who are in more shadowy relationships, trying to get someone to move forward with them, trying to convince them their dreams will come into reality and trying to present themselves, create the illusion they're a more loving, maybe more stable, grounded, independent person than they really are, but it's all for these ulterior purposes, and they're trying to get people to move forward with them. And some people could be taking some time to think about, you know, some people could even be telling some people, I'm going to take some time to think about how I want to move forward, what I view as victorious and successful. Maybe think about why I'm in the relationship. Maybe think about why I think you're so motivated to be in the relationship. If I'm motivated by love, are they motivated by love? Am I in a relationship with someone who loves me, but maybe I could have kind of gotten in the relationship, and maybe as times went by, in a lot of ways it might be victorious and successful, but it's not my truth of really what we can people can have love for each other, but you know not feel like it's the right relationship for them to move forward with. And some people might right now be ending a relationship to take that time. Everybody could be sad, everybody could be you know giving some thought. But people will take action if some people are more used to being indulged. Right now, some of those people could take some immature action to probably try to manipulate people, either to get in a relationship or to manipulate the person they're in a relationship with, to maybe even become independent of them. Like, if you don't indulge me, I'm going to walk away. I have the Seven of Cups, can be other options. I'm going to go communicate with my options. I'm going to go kind of indulge them. If you don't indulge me and willing to stay in a relationship with me, even though you're sad, well, I'll go find someone else to be in a relationship. Some people, that is some people's way of operating. I'll go hang out with my friends and family. I'll kind of ignore you. You want me to move forward differently. I don't like that. I want it to be this way. And if you're not going to indulge me, and maybe you are being more independent, maybe you are getting more balance within yourself, maybe you are starting to love yourself. Well, I don't like any of that, because you're freeing yourself from the illusion of me or being more about the world. And I'm going to focus on these other people and things. And if that doesn't stop you, well, then probably eventually this relationship, and for some it already did, will end. And some of the more shadowy, immature people will keep thinking, oh, you won't love and believe in yourself because, and be more independent and free yourself from what manipulates you, because I don't ever free myself from these things that manipulate me. And as you keep doing that, some of those people can see that you're moving forward in that way, being more independent, have worked through these regrets of the past, have freed yourself, moving forward victoriously and successfully. And some of those people could think, well, they're kind of confused about how you're doing it, because shadowy people never really put in the work and effort to free themselves from things that manipulate them. It's just to try to create an illusion like, look, I got a new job. Look, I got a new friend. Look, I got in a new relationship. I've healed, I've grown, I've changed, I've matured, but they really haven't. It's just always to move forward with the next illusion, because the old illusion didn't work. People didn't want to put up with them being more about themselves, or bossy, or controlling, or two-faced, or unloving, or manipulative. And then they just try to go create an illusion with someone else. Look, I've changed. Look how victorious and successful I am. But then the same thing ends up happening again because they haven't changed. They're the same person they were at the last job or friendship or relationship. So they could think you're just creating a better illusion than they are, and they don't know how you're doing it. But they don't understand you never were creating an illusion to begin with. You are inspired to work together with people. You have a dream. And yes, you can enjoy getting to know people, but eventually you want it to move forward in a more deep, meaningful relationship. And some of the people that you've been in a relationship in the past could feel like you tried to manipulate them or were not being authentic, but you probably did communicate your truth to them of what you were motivated and inspired by, but they can still not want to see the truth that, because we cannot want to acknowledge to ourselves, gee, I had people who were loving and encouraging and supportive in my life who wanted to have a dream come into reality, but I don't want to admit to myself that maybe I was still kind of more about me or kind of wanted to kind of be a player in the world, kind of had these ideas and illusions about relationships that people would just want to keep moving forward with me in a relationship, and maybe I'd never really have to bring a particular dream into reality. But because they maybe don't love them, these are things, these philosophies of life, they're kind of really be buried in the subconscious, which with the Nine of Cups being Pisces energy and Scorpio can be these things that are buried beneath the surface that we're not even consciously aware of, that if we were to really kind of pull it apart, we'd kind of see, oh, I guess I kind of do think it should be more about me, or oh, I guess I do kind of think that I want what other people have, but I don't really want to authentically do love, or I really am, which some people could really hate to have to admit to themselves. I guess I am more materialistically more motivated and get and want to be in relationships more for those reasons than love, right? But they'll keep repeating this pattern, and, you know, other people could have already seen the truth of some people and they walked away. I see that your dream is different. I see what you're motivated and inspired by, whatever it is, being more about yourself or love or immature or indulged or whatever is different. And just like some people have walked away from it, those people are inspired to keep believing in themselves, believing in their dreams. They've become independent of those people, the people in their life who they think um, are more immature or self indulgent or more materialistically motivated. And that's why they want to be in relationships and get in relationships and stay in relationships. That's not my truth. And they've moved on from those people and they've closed out a cycle with those people. Can they be sad that it didn't work out the way they wanted? Yeah. But I'm not willing to give up on my dreams. My dream can only come into reality with other people who are motivated and inspired by that. So they're going to go find people, I guess, who either create this illusion or lie to other people or manipulate someone else, or they're going to go get in relationships with people who have kind of more of the same viewpoint as them. If they get in a relationship with someone who's more on the same page as them, well, then I would much rather have them in a relationship with someone who's more like themselves, because that's a just and fair relationship, than trying to manipulate other loving people in the world to get them to give up their dreams to stay in a relationship with kind of an immature or egotistical or whatever, a mismatched relationship. So if they get in a relationship with someone who's more like themselves, I know I didn't like that relationship, so I've made peace with it and I'm moving on. And that's good. I hope they're not trying to, manipulate someone who's just like you at your same way of viewing life or living life. Don't try to trap other people in a relationship with you, because that's not just and fair. And if they do, it's probably not going to work out anyway, because eventually those people just can't take it anymore. And they're probably going to leave. So that's for them to deal with. Knowing that, and some of those people like to view themselves as these loving, nurturing, encouraging people. And in a lot of ways, they can be kind of loving and nurturing and supportive. The only problem is that as time goes by, people realize that they have this way of viewing life and they want to do that, and when we're working with other people, well, they have their truth, you have your truth, and then you're supposed to work cooperatively to move forward to bring that combined dream into reality. But they can be loving and nurturing, but they still think it should be more about their dream. And that's eventually kind of what people, their truth or what they want, in a way where I don't want to step outside my comfort zone. I don't want to give birth to anything new. It's like repeating an old pattern. It's just different job, different friend, different romantic relationship. And some of the shadowy people like being in relationships with people who maybe are more immature. Perfect. I seem like the more stable, grounded, mature person. That kind of builds their ego. Or they like to get in relationships with people who are sad. Oh, perfect. You'll view me as this loving, nurturing, supportive person. I love playing that role in people's life. Oh, but if you ever think that is the relationship dynamic I like. And if you ever learn to love yourself and free yourself, well, you can go. I'm going to go find someone else to recreate this pattern with, because that's the pattern of the type of relationship I like. And high vibe people are ready to be in relationships with people who don't want to repeat these patterns, don't have like a fixed pattern, are more independent, have learned to love themselves, are more independent, are more inspired to be independent, who are less about being caught up in the illusion of the world, who have learned to love themselves and have worked through the regrets of their past, to work cooperatively with people to bring a dream into reality. And the people in your life that you're currently working together with like that, you're going to keep working forward with people like that. Some people in your life that's not their truth, you'll probably distance yourself from them because you kind of see that, that's not really their truth. And they might want to come with, but they kind of want to be more indulged. And it's like, if that's not what you're authentically motivated and inspired by, and eventually they kind of know that's not their truth either. Anyway, what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Virgo energy that they might not see coming up? The Six of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. Why? Because of the Ten of Cups and the Emperor. Well, because the high vibe people are inspired to free themselves from things that manipulate them and not be manipulated. They're choosing to be inspired to see through the illusion and be more independent and take that cup of love to align with their more hopeful, believing, inspired nature. And Pisces and Virgo are on opposite sides of the zodiac wheel. And with all the zodiac signs, we probably have lessons to learn about getting more balance between opposite opposing sides. Water sign energies are opposite of earth sign energies. We can let our more emotional nature run our life. We can let our more worldly nature run our life. But if we truly want long-term like stability and abundance within ourselves and in other relationships, high vibe energy is about a balance of both. There is kind of in the Five of Cups, we kind of have to compromise with ourselves. It can't be too much this and it can't be too much that. It's about a balance. And then the Six of Pentacles are a balance. In our philosophy of life, of what we're motivated and inspired by, do we want those things of the world? Yes. Do we want them to such an extent we're willing to give up our dreams and be emotionally manipulated in our loving nature? No. I can be a very loving person, but am I going to keep letting people, indulging people who aren't working with me cooperatively? No. So it's trying to find that balance. And because you wanted to find that balance, and the Emperor, like the Three of Wands, is Aries energy within yourself, you did the work and effort to get balanced within yourself and emotionally get to the truth. And the truth is, you should stand up for yourself, your more emotional, loving, intuitive nature. Stand up for equal give and take in your relationships, and take responsibility for maintaining balance within yourself. I need to learn to invest in maintaining balance within myself. I need to learn to love myself so that I'm not in more codependent energy, looking outside of myself for something to be the answer to make me feel better. I know how to make me feel better. I know how to maintain balance within myself. And then I make decisions. Both the Emperor and the Queen of Pentacles can talk about, I make good decisions in my life from this place within myself of what my truth is and how I want to conduct my life and live my life and be proud of myself and balance within myself. I know if I take more immature action or indulge poor behavior in myself or others, there's all sorts of people that'd be willing to be in a relationship with me, probably being in that energy. Oh, you're fearful, you're more insecure, you don't love yourself, you want to indulge in something to feel better? Come on, let's go. Giddy up. And some high vibe people are like, I've already done that and it didn't work out the way I wanted. I have seen through the illusion and the confusion. The first person who needs to learn to love me is me. I need to quit indulging my more immature, self-indulgent nature. I need to get in the driver's seat of my life and put in the work and effort to free myself. And I hold the key within myself to free myself from things that manipulate me. And then as you move forward in that energy, you are making good decisions in your life. Other people know you could act more immature and more self-indulgent and prideful and egotistical and probably get in relationships to be in a relationship or for ego or image. But people see that you're, if you're not already married or in a relationship, that you or the people you hang out with are making these good decisions in your life and standing up for each other and maintaining balance in your relationships. And other people see that. And then some other people could be like, why didn't I do that? Well, because it takes work and effort to free yourself from what manipulates you. And some of those people will keep going back. Some will keep going back and doing the same thing they've been doing, wondering why it doesn't turn out like that. It can be because, well, I'm looking for someone to love me. I want that. But that's like looking outside yourself for someone to love you so you have that. It's like, you can see where that's a little bit more about them. Well, I want those things. I want someone to love me to have that. It's like, it starts within you first. You knowing your worth and value. Quit looking for other people to be the answer to your dreams coming into reality, because when you get in this energy within yourself, other people see you're in that energy. You're not chasing after people. You're not trying to manipulate people. You're not trying to create an illusion that you're more emotionally mature, stable, grounded, or loving than you really are, or whatever. You have put in this work within you, and then people see it. And then the people who want to be in that type of relationship with someone who's in that energy, and they're in that energy, they will want to be in a relationship with you. Or they know they could go get in relationships with people who are more about these other things. And some of the people are going to go back to the drawing board. Well, I saw that person freed themselves. I might have to walk away from some things I was moving forward in, and I might have to take some time to work through my own emotional confusion and feel more independent within myself and quit making my life more about driving my sense of worth and value from these other things and really kind of get in the driver's seat of my life. And if some of those people do that, are there going to be some things that, oh, so I won't be able to go indulge in that anymore to make me feel better? Oh, I can't indulge my more immature nature. It can't just be maybe more about me or more. And it's kind of like mourning the loss of letting go of a more immature version of yourself because they're more inspired to free themselves. And then when they free themselves, there can be other people in their life who, we can always have the more shadowy, immature people in our life that are like, come on, let's go do this. Come on, let's go do that. And it's like, no, I think I'm going to do this because that is not moving my life forward the way I want. And if I keep doing that, I won't be doing this. So I have to make a choice and there's going to be some things that will be missed opportunities. And it could be, maybe I don't hang out with some people that as much as I used to. And, I have to work through that. But if I have this dream, it's just like when people are going to go move to another town to get a different job, or kids are going to go to college, then move after college to go get their own job. You know, it can be sad to detach from certain things and people in the world, but I have this dream and I could do this, but then I feel like maybe I would be sad that I didn't kind of love and believe in myself enough to keep pursuing my dreams and I don't know, something like that. What's going on? The King and Queen of Pentacles is the only married suit of the deck. For some of you who aren't married or in a relationship, you could get married. For some of you that maybe have been in more immature jobs, the two Taurus cards of the Six of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles can mean jobs. Listening to your intuition, like, oh my gosh, these people are kind of immature or bossy or whatever, have illusions about what it means to work together with other people. If you haven't already went and gotten that new job, you could go get a new job so the whole thing is, we can get in situations in our life and it seems like people can kind of be creating a little hell on earth. Well, we can stay in it or we can listen to our intuition. This isn't aligned with my truth. And I think some of these people have some growing up and maturing to do. The only person I can change is me. I'm going to offer myself that cup of love, even though I would have liked it to work out. It's not. And I'm going to put in work and effort to find something else that's more aligned with my truth and my dreams and how I like to work together with other people. And then you will find the people. Because if people are creating a little hell on earth, that means God's creating a little heaven on earth. Just because we live in a world of duality where these forces battle within each other, I'm going to go find the people who seem to be more aligned, maybe more mature, more balanced, more hopeful and believing and encouraging and supportive, and I'm going to go find those people. What's coming up for the shadowy people that they might not see coming? The Wheel of Fortune and the King of Wands. Well, in shadowy energy, we can kind of keep thinking we're the boss. That's shadowy Aries energy. That we think we're the boss and like we don't have to change. That in the Wheel of Fortune, we can keep going the way that we're going, and that's fine. I just think there are rules to this game of life. And part of the thing is that, like an apple tree doesn't have free will, so it does grow to its full potential. And instead of stopping at like 15 feet tall and just like, no, man, that takes too much energy and work, I'm just going to stop at 15 feet and do 100 apples. No, they don't have that free will. It is kind of instilled within them. As long as you have sunlight and rain, you are going to grow to your full potential at 35 feet and you're going to do 1,000 apples. More than enough for other people to enjoy other than just you or something, or in your pride or glory that I have enough. Some people keep thinking they can just keep going the way they want to go, but high vibe energy of like the divine and that part exists within us, wants to give birth to something new. We keep shedding old layers of ourselves. I didn't stay like a 15-year-old. I didn't stay like an 18, a 21, a 25-year-old. I face my fears, and eventually I detach from those old ways of being, and I put in work and effort to kind of like love and believe in myself and go to that next phase of life. Well, some people had the idea, well, once I get past those phases of life, which you have a lot of peer pressure to do those, no, you need to go get a job. I don't want to get a job. I want to stay here and not get a job. You need to go get a job. You need to move out. You need to go get your own apartment. You go get jobs and they're like, no, you need to grow up. It's like, well, I don't want to grow up. And they lose jobs. Some people it's worse than others. Some people did temper their ego more along the way, but some people still kind of think, maybe I get to a certain stage of life and maybe I look kind of victorious and successful in the world. Well, now I don't think I should have to grow or heal or mature myself anymore. I'm under the illusion that people are going to want to work together with me and be in a relationship with me and, a little full of themselves. I don't really have to do love. I can just create the illusion of love. I can kind of indulge myself in a relationship. I think it can be a little bit more about me. I think because I have these things in the world and maybe some other people don't, that those people will be willing to indulge me, to be in a relationship with me, to have those things. Well, you know, everybody learns lessons in life and grows and heals and matures themselves. And again, it's kind of like someone who kind of has like maybe a 25 or a 30-year-old mentality, but they're older than that, getting in relationships with people who have learned some of these lessons in life, but they keep thinking it should be more about them. Well, again, some more high vibe people are going to free themselves from them because they've been in these different types of relationships, got more clear about what their truth is and their truth isn't. In the past, people might have put up with more bullshit, and people aren't willing to put up with more bullshit now. So sometimes that's when some people can go try to find someone younger to maybe go get in a relationship with, someone who hasn't learned those lessons, or just go find someone who they think hasn't learned, because some people could have been in very loving and nurturing relationships, and then they also think that other people are more loving and nurturing, and those people have going to come in contact with some people like this to learn that not everybody is who they present themselves as being. They wear a false mask, and it will be a painful experience, but those are kind of some of the lessons we all need to learn in life. And then some of those people will learn the lessons about some of these people and they'll move on. And eventually, some of these people who refuse to change and learn lessons in life or be willing to do love, high vibe people are going to move away from them. And the people, there's always bigger fish in the sea. There's always other more worldly, shadowy, self-focused type of people that are looking for people like them. And sometimes the shadowy people got some lessons to learn. They're going to maybe some of them are going to get in relationships with people who really don't have their best interest at heart. That's up here. We have two cards of Taurus energy, a shadowy Taurus relationship versus a more high vibe Taurus relationship, because high vibe Taurus is walking the talk. Being in relationships with people who've grown up and matured themselves, hold themselves accountable for their actions, and make the free will choice to work together with people in love and truth and justice and fairness. Shadowy relationships can be, well, whoever has more of what someone wants, whatever that is, are you more sad than me? Well, then I guess I'm going to have more power in the relationship. Are you more immature than me? Then I guess I'm the more mature person. It'll be more about me. Do I have more status and image? Blah, blah, blah. Needless, they're moving forward with their more shadowy energy of self. Your shadow nature doesn't have your best interest at heart. And then some of the people that you're aligning with don't have your best interest at heart. And some of the shadowy people don't realize that some of the people don't have their best interests. And they're caught up in the illusion of those people. No, no, no. It's more important to stay with these people that align with the loving, my own loving, hopeful, believing nature and the other loving people in my life. No, no, no. I'm sure these people have my best interest, and they don't. And by the time they realize it, the other people have moved on. And then if they're still not willing to do the work to free themselves from some of these ways of being, they're going to repeat this old pattern of getting in a relationship to indulge themselves in a relationship, or the status or the ego or the image, or to make them feel better because they haven't learned to love themselves. And they'll probably get in a relationship with someone who's happy they're in that energy. Because then it works for them, it's good for their ego and image, but it is more about being in the relationship for some reason other than love. It looks good for my ego and image. I don't have anybody else to be in a relationship with. I'll be in a relationship with you. Can be in relationships with people you don't even want to be in relationships with. But some people are so consumed by the certain ego and image and status of it. And that's like the most important thing, isn't it? So that people view you a certain way and you look like you are the victor, or, I don't know, unwilling probably to admit that you made some mistakes in life, unwilling to deal with the truth. And so the most important thing is all those things will keep controlling them. And I think as time goes by, you know, other people can see who seems to be in a relationship because they really love and value each other and appreciate each other, who's more in relationships because of the ego and the image. And, there's going to be other people in their life who aren't going to want to hang out with them because it's kind of a more superficial and shallow relationship. But the other people who might be in a more superficial, shallow relationship might be willing to be in a relationship, and we'll all create an illusion of how wonderful our life is. It all depends, I guess, on what people want to manifest. And everybody's got free will. And some people said, I'm not doing that. I'm leaving. And I think they're going to look very balanced, very stable, very abundant, shining bright in their own way in the world. And the other people might look like they have the illusion of that, but they're being controlled by something other than love. So there you go, Virgo. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.